To assess Gambino's spelling, I use the primary spelling inventory, the feature guide. That way I could go through and kind of just follow along with his spelling and the words here that show the correct spelling. So I was able to easily see his misspellings and check how many he spelled correctly because I had his spelling, his words printed out, and I was looking. If you can't tell, I did print this out and I marked on it and then I scanned it and uploaded it because that's easier for me. So in order to, well, first of all, I checked all of the correct spelling here. And then to check the features, I went by row. Initially, I had highlighted when I was checking to see the words he got correct. I highlighted what he had spelled correctly, or the features that he showed correctly. And then I went through and checked them off as I was getting the feature points. So he spelled fan correctly. So I checked off the F, the A, the N. There's 3 points, and I added it here. I did that for all the words, even the ones that he did not get them all correctly. For example, the word chewed, he only got the digraph correctly. So I checked that and I added 1 to this point. Then I added them all together to get his points of 39 out of 56 with only 12 words spelled correctly. So according to the primary spelling inventory and the estimated stages table, Gambino is he's at the late letter name alphabetic stage of spelling. After checking Gambino's correct spelling and his misspelled words, I completed the feature guide. And that is what I just showed you as I went through. By determining Gambino's spelling stage, I'm able to determine where the instruction should begin. And since Gambino has mastered the initial and final consonant sounds, he has also mastered the short vowel sounds and the digraphs. I know that since he misspelled 2 or more blends, his instruction needs to begin with blends. After he masters blends, we can master the common long vowels, the diphthongs, and the inflected endings. As you can see, he did get some of these correct, but he had misspelled more than he got correct. So I know that he has definitely not mastered these 3, and he's on his way to mastering the blends. So that's why we will begin instruction here. So looking at his writing sample, I can see similar strengths and weaknesses. For example, instead of spelling were, when he wrote we were, he spelled, instead of spelling W-E-R-E, he only spelled W-E-R, which reflects that his common long vowel knowledge is more limited. He did get some correct on the spelling inventory, but he has a very limited understanding of these. So this is a good reflection of that. Fighting as well, IGH is another common long vowel that he did not get, and him spelling fighting F-I-T-I-N-G, he missed the IGH, which reflects that we need to work on his common long vowels, but he correctly spelled the ing, which kind of reflects in his limited knowledge of inflected endings, because he did get the ding of writing correct, which features that ing. here. He misspelled clapping, and he did not include the ing. So it does reflect his spelling skills with that word as well. Said, instead of spelling S-A-I-D, he spelled S-E-D, which is a good example of his diphthongs, or his common long vowels. He did not get this one correct on the spelling inventory either with the word wait. He missed the IA, as he did here for said. Even though they are two different sounds, the AI was still misspelled here. So we can definitely see that his spelling is reflected, his spelling skills and his stage is reflected in his writing sample as well. He does show great strength in the entirety of the emergent stage and the early and middle letter name alphabetic stage. So we will make sure that his instruction will begin in the late letter name alphabetic stage and then continue through the early, middle, and late within word patterns, as well as the syllables and affixes.